Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diversified's uh, Wealth, Health, and Happiness blog, where our mission is to have you live in a life filled with wealth, health, and happiness. Today, we have a very special guest I'm super excited about, Monique Helstrom, who is a speaker, activator, and unlocker of human potential. Monique was the executive assistant producer and chief of Simon Sinek, who many of us may know, and she has a passion for helping humans communicate. Through her speaking engagements, workshops, coaching, and communication courses, she helps foster communication, build teams, and improve lives by helping people change their view of change. So, sounds impressive, Monique. How you doing?
Oh, that sounds really impressive. I might bring you with me and have you introduce me at various locations. Well, how are you?
Good, thank you. So tell us about you for a moment.
Tell us about me. Well, I too am a Philly girl, so we were just commenting on the location. Born and raised in Philadelphia, which gives me a lot of spunk and a lot of brass and all those sorts of things. Yeah. And I've always been a logistical, detail-minded person. I've grown up in my career through doing lots and lots of detail work, and I was an event planner, and I was a professional organizer, and then I went into executive assistant. So I've always been someone who likes to organize and tinker and build and grow. And now I'm here doing it for myself.
That's cool. And it speaks to, that's what we do for a living. We're organizers and planners, and, so I totally get it.
Yep.
So let's start with your journey. So we know you were chief of Simon Sinek, who is, we're a big believer of some of his teachings and philosophies here, especially our why. We create our whole why at our company. And so you were there, and now you're on your own. Walk us through that journey. Tell us about that.
Sure. So throughout my almost decade of working with Simon, which is still crazy to say, I paid attention. I listened. I watched. I learned. I observed how he spoke and what he did. And it took me a while, but I finally figured out who I was in relation to the rest of the world. Working with him helped me do that. I found my why. I took a lot of personality tests. I figured out who I was and what I was made up of. And I very quickly learned that while Simon was the why guy, I am the how girl. I'm the how things get done person.
It's cool.
I've never been the strategist. I've never been the big thinker with lots and lots of ideas, but I have no idea how to implement it. I'm on the other side. I'm the builder. And working with him helped me develop that talent, and I got to use that with him. And then when our partnership came to a close, I decided that I can do this for other people, that other people have lots and lots of great ideas and they don't know how to bring them to life. And so maybe I'm the one that could help other people solve their problems. And now I'm here.
Now here you are. That's awesome. And it's impressive, I think, to recognize your strengths and weaknesses, right? Not everyone's a big thinker. Even our company, we have divisions and departments. One of my roles is to be the thinker, and I'm terrible at the other side, which is why we have a leadership team run by our CEO, Mike Fisher, who's fantastic. And it's a yin and yang. You touched on personality tests, which we can geek out for a minute. So talk to me about personality tests in general, what it tells you. We've used DISC profile, which has really helped us understand for employees, right? And we found them fairly accurate. But what's your take on them and your use of them and how it helps you in work and life?
Oh, I'm obsessed with personality tests. I think I've taken all of them. I'm ready to go back and start over again and go through them again. But I found personality tests told me who I was, but deeper, more meaningful. It gave me language to use to describe myself to other people. We have an idea of who we are. Well, I'm detail oriented. I'm a little impatient. I'm friendly. We have these ideas of who we are. But reading them in a manual that tells me how to use it, how to exercise it, how to lean on it whenever I need to, was a completely different experience. And it did help me, almost like crutches, I knew what I could use at any one given moment to help me be a better version of myself. These are all of my top talents I could just pull whenever I needed to and use them to relate to someone, to communicate to somebody else, to collaborate with another human being. It just, it opened up a whole new world of me understanding me
Right.
in both the good and the bad.
So you use them for yourself, you use them on others. Are there ones that, what's your secret sauce personality test? What are the ones that you go to the well to and say, take this one, this one, this one, and I get a real sense from this one about your likes and dislikes, this about your personality. Right? Help me, help us, because I'm really
my favorite is Clifton Strength Finder. That has been my favorite for a while. It was my inaugural test, and it was so unbelievably accurate for me that I was completely blown away. And one of the things I enjoy about this test, that it not only describes who you are and your personality traits, but it tells you what to watch out for. It says, this is what someone with your strength set might sound like. This is what someone with this strength set might run into and see as a barrier, as a weakness, as something that we need to pay attention to. So again, it helped me. It gave me such good language, such good words to use to describe myself. So Strengths Finders has always been at my top. I love languages, the very simple, easy test of love languages. And I know people laugh at me when I say that about work, but knowing what makes you feel safe and supported and loved is so unbelievably helpful. If I knew that your top love language was words of affirmation, well, I know how to speak to you better. I know that coming into a conversation with you, I'm not just going to hit the ground running and throw tasks in your face. If words of affirmation is what you like to feel safe and supported, well, I'm going to use that. I'm going to talk with you. I'm going to ask you about yourself first.
So that's a really interesting one. So riddle me this, Monique. So let's say my love language is intimacy.
Okay.
Right. Because yes, gifts, I understand, words of affirmation, and I forget all, like 4 or 5 or 6 and whatever they are, but I believe one of them is
touch. So physical touch is what I'm assuming you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean that's a touchy one.
Yeah,
unintended. Sure. So how do you navigate around that?
Sure. There is a love languages test for work, by the way, just saying that out loud. I haven't actually taken that one. That's one of the only ones that I haven't taken. I've taken the regular one. But again, it's possible to do that in a work setting. It's possible to touch someone in their heart. It is possible to touch someone in their feeling center and ask them about themselves as a human being, to be concerned, to put forth their own love and their own vulnerability towards someone. And the occasional touch on the arm, maybe if that's not a horrendous thing to do in your organization, might be helpful.
Yeah, listen, we have to dance a delicate line.
Oh, yes.
So I want to be sensitive, of course. So let's say you worked with me and you found out my personalities and my strengths and my weaknesses. How do you then go about? Is it just about me being conscious of what they are, or how do I then become sort of conscious, confident, and take my strengths and weaknesses and then put them to work to either strengthen my weaknesses, or like what's that then training, or reprogramming look like?
Sure. As far as how I used it with others, so I would have a notebook and I had everyone's strengths finders written out in this notebook. So before I went into a meeting with someone, let's say you and I were going into a meeting together, I'd read what your strengths are. I probably know what your astrological sign was. I probably want to know what your love language was. And I would read through this before I went into a meeting with you. So I understood how you like to be communicated to, how you like to receive information, how I can speak so that you can hear me. Communicating has nothing to do with the words coming out of our mouths. It has to do with the other person hearing us in the manner in which we're trying to speak. So if I can tweak my language little bits here and there so that you can hear me better, so that you can understand me better, why wouldn't I do that? And this didn't take me 6 years to figure out. I read through some strengths on a piece of paper. I went, oh, okay. He's very strategic, and his second one is futuristic. Well, I'm not going to talk about the 15 ways that we did something last week and the 29-point test, the plan that I'm going to create. No, I'm going to talk about everything strategic and future focused.
That totally makes
It's not
sense.
that hard.
It's funny. At one of my old employers, we were in some training thing at one point, and they put us that you took a little test and said if you were a driver, an amiable, an expressive, and analytic, right? And you all took it, and they said, okay, all the expressives go here, and you broke into corners of the room, right?
Yeah.
And it was true as the day is long. The expressive group is all chatting and high fiving. The analytics are like, why are we still doing here? And it was everyone
looking at their watches.
Yep, everyone fell into their natural states. I totally buy this stuff, and I think it's critical how, especially as we've grown as a company, really recognizing our employee, how to talk to employees.
And you brought up a great point. When you divide people into quadrants and you physically can see where people excel, you can also physically see where maybe you need to bring in some new talent and some holes that you need to fill. Let's say that you did this exercise and 80% of your people were in the expressive bucket and you had one person in the execution bucket. Well, maybe that's the reason that ideas are thrown around all the time, but we say we can't get anything done.
Right.
So this might help you hire your next few people. Hey, are you strong in execution? Because that's what we need. We're lacking those people.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know you're passionate about communication.
Yes.
And you even have your own communication course, I believe. So help educate us. What advice can you give us to improve communication within our lives, work, home, love, kids, what have you? Give us the top advice here.
Sure. So I'll give you three, and not to beat a dead horse, but my top two are know thyself and know other people. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but you have to know what your tendencies are to when you're communicating with other people. I knew what I was like, but again, I didn't know that, for example, my achiever strength sometimes makes me want to get through things really fast. And sometimes I go into meetings like an army sergeant because I just want to get things done and I'm not building relationship. I get all crazy with bullet points. This is helping me communicate because it's allowing me to understand what my natural tendencies are.
Right.
Then when I know others, I can help communicate to you in a manner in which you can hear me back and communicate with the receiver in mind. And then another really easy tip is to be mindful of your surroundings, be mindful of your location and the timing. We just sometimes want to have a conversation with someone in the middle of a crowded restaurant. That's not the appropriate time to do that. Or I want to have a conversation with you at 7:30 in the morning and you're not a morning person. So I'm not going to get the results that I want because I'm not paying attention to what you need.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. And it's hard. I mean, I've gone through a lot of this stuff, and sometimes you revert to your natural style so quickly because you want to be dominant, or you want to be heard, it takes work. I can tell you. It takes work.
But just like anything else, it's a skill. Communicating is a skill. Unfortunately, it's one that we're not taught in school, but it is a skill and it is a learned behavior. So practicing does make perfect. And the first step is always just observation, just noticing when and where you have certain tendencies, just being aware of that. Maybe you don't need to change it immediately. You're just bringing it to your awareness.
Sure.
And then you start to change little things. As humans, we want to go from 0 to 60. I want to be a better communicator. Well, how about we do one thing? How about we do one thing and we master that one thing? The secret sauce is just slowing down.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Just want to talk all the time.
Right. I always say people need to learn finance in school too, but I guess we'll both be out of jobs. So at Diversified, our company here, we're passionate about promoting wealth, health, and happiness. What advice do you have that can help others find their happiness?
Ooh. Well, it takes some time, it takes some effort, it takes some patience. but really looking into who you are as a human and understanding that it is no one else's responsibility to build the life that your biology and your personality requires. That is your responsibility to put yourself in situations that exercise your talents. It is not someone else's responsibility to give that to us. So if we're in a bad job that we hate, that we don't feel like we fit in, we have to raise our hands and take some blame for that and say, you know what? I did this. I need to figure out a way out. We so want to point fingers at people all day long. And instead, what we really need to do is just keep doing this over and over and over again.
Makes all the sense in the world. So what makes you happy, Monique?
Oh, what makes me happy? It makes me happy to work with other humans. I am a human, and I love when I get to see people acting vulnerable and excited and real and happy and talking about that in a real way and not putting any filters on. That makes me happy.
That's good. And of course, our EAGLES Eagles.
Of course.
Of course. Well, not these days.
With their bad trade of Mr. Zach Ertz, I'm not very happy about that part, but
he's great. All right, Monique, time for you to leave us with one tip or message that you would like everyone to remember and resonate with everyone. What would it be?
One tip or message. More than what I just said. More than just our responsibility to take care of ourselves and put ourselves in situations that make us happy.
Yeah.
Let's see. One other tip. This is something actually that I'll pull from my time with Simon Sinek is that leadership and authority are not the same thing. And I loved learning that lesson with him that anyone can be a leader at any rank, at any place, as long as you're taking care of the person to the right of you and taking care of the person to the left of you. It has nothing to do with authority. And just because you have authority, it does not mean you're a leader. Leadership should not be a reward for doing a good job. It should be someone who actually has the skill set to be a leader. So please make sure you are promoting the people who should be promoted into leadership positions.
That's gold. So tell us real quick about so what makes a leader? What are the key components you teach people about being a leader?
Sure. Again, it has nothing to do with being able to make decisions. It has to do with taking care of those around us, understanding who the people are that are around us, and helping them be the best versions of themselves. A leader's primary job should be taking care of the people in their charge, not being in charge. So when we can flip that script a little bit and just take care of those around us, you'd be surprised how many people want to follow you.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What's the old saying? People don't care what you know until they know that you care, right?
Absolutely.
I totally.
Absolutely. 100%.
So thanks for joining, Monique. Why don't you spend a moment and tell people how they can connect with you, learn about you, follow you socially, sign up and engage you?
Wonderful. I'm on all the things. My name is all the things. I am shocked I have not been identity. My identity has not been stolen yet. But my website, MoniqueHelstrom.com. All of my handles are MoniqueHelstrom.com, except for Instagram. Somebody took my name. And on Instagram, I'm Monique J. Helstrom. But I'm on all the socials. Awesome. Besides TikTok. Not good.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll share that as well. This was really refreshing, Monique, and you're doing awesome work out there. And I'm really pleased and honored to have you on with me today. And I'm sure everyone will enjoy listening to this and hopefully engaging. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as always, I want to thank all of our viewers and listeners that are joining today. Again, I'm Andrew Rosen, President of Diversified. Stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay happy. Take care.